Welcome to the 9th episode of the Reality Transurfing Fundamentals series. Today we're exploring a principle that can quite literally change the trajectory of your life. Coordinating intention. The art of turning negative events into positive outcomes and maintaining harmony with the world around you. Let's begin with a simple truth. Life is not a straight, predictable path. Unexpected events, setbacks, and challenges are inevitable. The question is not whether you will encounter difficulties, but how you respond to them. In transurfing, your response determines whether you spiral onto an unfavorable lifeline or ride the wave of fortune to better outcomes. Think about the last time something unexpected disrupted your plans. Perhaps you were running late for an important meeting, or maybe a relationship ended when you least expected it. In these moments, you stand at a crossroads in the alternative space, a point where multiple lifelines diverge. Your reaction in that crucial moment determines which path you'll take. Will you choose the line of struggle and resistance, or will you coordinate your intention with the flow of life and step onto a more favorable trajectory? Most people, when faced with a problem or disappointment, react automatically. They get upset, resist, complain, or try to fight the situation. This reaction is natural, but it's also a trap. When you resist reality, you create tension and excess potential, which in turn attracts balancing forces that often make things worse. You end up battling not just the situation, but the energetic consequences of your own resistance. Consider what happens when you fight against a river's current. The more you struggle, the more exhausted you become, and the current seems to grow stronger. But when you learn to work with the flow, adjusting your movements to harmonize with the water's natural rhythm, you find that the same current that was your enemy becomes your ally, carrying you effortlessly downstream. This metaphor perfectly captures the essence of coordinating intention. It's about shifting from opposition to cooperation with the forces of life. Transurfing offers a different approach, one that is both subtle and powerful. It's called coordinating intention. The core idea is this: no matter what happens, you choose to interpret events in a positive light. You coordinate your intention with the flow of life, rather than fighting against it. Instead of seeing setbacks as disasters, you see them as opportunities, blessings in disguise, or simply as the universe redirecting you to something better. This principle goes beyond simple positive thinking. It's a sophisticated understanding of how reality works at its fundamental level. Every event, every moment, exists simultaneously in countless variations across the alternative space. When something happens, whether you perceive it as good or bad, you're experiencing just one of many possible versions of that event. Your attitude and interpretation act as a tuning fork, resonating with and attracting corresponding variations from the alternative space. Imagine you're walking along your path and suddenly encounter an obstacle. The typical reaction is frustration or discouragement. But with coordinating intention, you pause, take a breath, and say to yourself, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, even better. My world always chooses the best for me. This simple shift in attitude moves you onto a favorable branch of your lifeline. You align with the wave of fortune, and what once seemed negative can turn out to be the best thing that could have happened. Why does this work? Because every event in your life contains both positive and negative potential. Your attitude determines which branch you step onto. When you react negatively, you reinforce the negative scenario. When you choose to see the positive, you activate the favorable scenario. This is not wishful thinking. It's a practical way to navigate the alternative space and guide your reality toward better outcomes. The alternative space is like an infinite library where every possible version of your life exists simultaneously. When an event occurs, it's as if you're standing in front of countless doors, each leading to a different continuation of your story. Your emotional and mental response to the event determines which door opens. Negative reactions, anger, despair, resentment, resonate with doors leading to difficult lifelines. Positive interpretations, curiosity, trust, acceptance, open doors to favorable alternatives. This doesn't mean you should suppress genuine emotions or pretend everything is perfect when it's not. Coordinating intention is about consciously choosing your relationship to events after allowing yourself to feel the initial emotional response. It's the difference between being swept away by a wave and learning to surf it. You acknowledge the wave's power, respect it, but then use your skill and intention to ride it rather than be crushed by it. Let's look at some practical examples. Suppose you miss a train or a bus. The automatic reaction is annoyance or anxiety about being late. But what if, by missing that train, you avoid an accident or encounter someone who changes your life for the better? You may not see the positive outcome immediately, but by coordinating your intention, by trusting that your world is taking care of you, you remain calm, resourceful, and open to new possibilities. I once knew a woman who missed her flight to a job interview in another city. She was devastated, certain she had lost her chance at her dream job. But instead of spiraling into despair, she remembered the principle of coordinating intention. She told herself, if this job was meant for me, it will still work out. If not, something better is coming. She called the company, explained the situation with calm confidence, and they were so impressed by her composed response to adversity that they rescheduled the interview and ultimately offered her an even better position than the one she had originally applied for. The delay also allowed her to research the company more thoroughly, which helped her negotiate a better salary and benefits package. Or imagine you don't get the job you wanted. Instead of sinking into disappointment, you tell yourself, this just means something even better is on its way. By maintaining this attitude, you keep your energy balanced and receptive. Often, you'll find that a new opportunity appears, one that's a better fit than the original. A friend of mine experienced this firsthand when he was passed over for a promotion he had worked towards for years. Initially crushed, he decided to apply coordinating intention. He chose to see it as the universe protecting him from a path that wasn't truly aligned with his highest good. Within 3 months, he was recruited by another company for a position that not only paid significantly more, but also aligned perfectly with his values and long-term goals. Later, he learned that the department he would have been promoted to in his old company underwent major restructuring, with most positions eliminated. What seemed like a devastating rejection turned out to be divine protection. Coordinating intention is not about denying reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing your relationship to events. You accept what happens, but you also choose to interpret it in a way that serves you. You become the master of your response, rather than a victim of circumstance. Think of it like sailing. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. A skilled sailor doesn't curse the wind for blowing in an inconvenient direction. Instead, they use their knowledge and skill to harness whatever wind is present to move toward their destination. Sometimes this means taking an indirect route, but often these seeming detours lead to discoveries and experiences that prove more valuable than the original goal. The sailor who fights the wind exhausts themselves and makes little progress. The one who works with it arrives at their destination refreshed and often enriched by unexpected adventures along the way. So how do you practice coordinating intention in daily life? Let me share 5 essential pillars that will help you master this transformative principle. First, wake up to your automatic reactions. Notice when you start to complain, resist, or feel sorry for yourself. Pause and remind yourself that you have a choice in how you interpret events. This awareness is the foundation of all conscious change. Without it, you remain a puppet of your conditioned responses, automatically stepping onto negative lifelines whenever challenges arise. Developing this awareness requires patient self-observation. Set an intention each morning to notice your reactions throughout the day. When something unexpected happens, observe your first response without judgment. Are you immediately catastrophizing? Do you feel victimized? Or are you curious about what opportunity might be hidden in this situation? Simply noticing these patterns begins to loosen their grip on you. It's like shining a light into a dark room. The moment you illuminate these automatic reactions, they begin to lose their power over you. Second, affirm that your world takes care of you. Make it a habit to repeat, "My world takes care of me. Everything is unfolding as it should." This affirmation helps to reprogram your subconscious and align you with the flow of positive alternatives. This isn't about blind faith or magical thinking. It's about recognizing that the universe is fundamentally abundant and supportive when you stop fighting against it. Every spiritual tradition has some version of this understanding, that there is a benevolent order underlying the apparent chaos of life. By affirming this truth, you tune your personal frequency to resonate with supportive lifelines. The power of this affirmation lies not in the words themselves, but in the state of being they evoke. When you truly feel that your world takes care of you, you relax. Your energy becomes smoother, less jagged with fear and resistance. This smooth energy allows you to slip more easily between lifelines, naturally gravitating toward more favorable alternatives. It's like the difference between trying to thread a needle with shaking hands versus doing so with calm, steady fingers. Third, look for the silver lining in every situation. Even if you can't see the benefit right away, trust that it exists. Ask yourself, how could this be working in my favor? Or what opportunity might this setback be creating? This practice trains your mind to become solution-oriented rather than problem-focused. It's like developing a new muscle. At first, it feels forced and unnatural, but with practice, it becomes your default mode of perception. You begin to see that every cloud really does have a silver lining, not as a cliché, but as a fundamental truth about the nature of reality. Consider the story of a businessman who lost everything in the 2008 financial crisis. Instead of despairing, he asked himself what opportunity this apparent disaster might be offering. He realized he was now free from the golden handcuffs that had kept him in a career he didn't love. Using his expertise, but following his passion, he started a social enterprise that not only became financially successful, but also gave him a sense of purpose he'd never experienced in his corporate job. Years later, he considered losing everything the best thing that ever happened to him. Fourth, let go of the need to control every outcome. Trust that the universe is wiser than your limited perspective. Sometimes, what seems like a loss or failure is actually a redirection toward something much better. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your goals. Rather, it's about holding your intentions lightly, like a bird in your hand. Firm enough that it doesn't fly away, but gentle enough that you don't crush it. When you release the death grip of control, you create space for the universe to deliver outcomes that exceed your limited imagination. This letting go is perhaps the most challenging aspect of coordinating intention for many people. We're conditioned to believe that success comes from forcing outcomes, or making things happen through sheer will. But coordinating intention reveals a different path, one where you set clear intentions but remain flexible about how they manifest. You trust that if a door closes, it's because a better one is about to open. This trust isn't passive, it's an active choice to remain open to possibilities beyond your current vision. Fifth, take inspired action. Coordinating intention is not about passivity or resignation. It's about acting in harmony with the flow of life rather than against it. When you feel guided to act, do so with confidence and trust. Inspired action feels different from forced action. It comes with a sense of rightness, even excitement. You're not pushing against resistance, but moving with an invisible current that seems to part obstacles before you. This is outer intention beginning to work through you, and it's far more powerful than any amount of personal will or force. Here's a simple exercise to help you develop this skill. The next time something goes wrong, pause and say, "Stop. This is just a game. I choose to see this as a blessing in disguise." Smile, even if you don't feel like it. Notice how your energy shifts. By breaking the pattern of negative reaction, you open the door to positive outcomes. The smile is particularly important. It sends a signal to your nervous system that you're safe, which helps calm the automatic stress response that typically accompanies unexpected challenges. Let me share another powerful technique, the reframe journal. Each evening, write down 3 things that didn't go as planned during your day. For each one, write at least one way this apparent setback might actually be serving you. Maybe the traffic jam gave you time to listen to a podcast that sparked a brilliant idea. Perhaps the canceled dinner plans allowed you to rest when you really needed it. This practice trains your brain to automatically look for positive reframes in real time. You can also practice pre-coordinating your intention. Each morning, set an intention that whatever happens today is happening for your highest good. Visualize yourself responding to unexpected events with calm curiosity rather than reactive emotion. See yourself saying, "How interesting. I wonder what gift this situation is bringing me." This mental rehearsal makes it easier to maintain coordinating intention when challenges actually arise. It's like a fire drill for your consciousness. You practice the response you want to have so that it becomes automatic when you need it. Remember, coordinating intention is a practice. It takes time and conscious effort to change old habits of negativity and resistance. But with patience and persistence, you'll find that life becomes smoother, more supportive, and filled with unexpected gifts. As you deepen this practice, you'll notice profound changes beyond just handling individual situations better. Your entire relationship with life transforms. You move from feeling like life is happening to you to understanding that life is happening for you. This shift is revolutionary. It's the difference between being a cork bobbing helplessly on the waves and being a skilled surfer who uses the ocean's power to create an exhilarating ride. You'll also find that synchronicities increase. When you stop creating excess potential through resistance and negativity, you align with the natural flow of favorable variations. Lucky coincidences become common. The right people appear at the right time. Opportunities seem to fall into your lap. This isn't magic, it's the natural result of coordinating your intention with the alternative's flow. One woman who practiced coordinating intention religiously for 6 months reported a complete transformation in her life. She went from feeling like she was constantly swimming upstream to experiencing what she called life on easy mode. Problems still arose, but they resolved themselves with minimal effort on her part. People began commenting on her luck, not realizing that she had simply learned to coordinate her intention with the flow of life. The impact of coordinating intention extends beyond your personal experience. When you maintain this harmonious state, you affect the reality of those around you. Your calm response to challenges inspires others. Your trust in life's benevolence becomes contagious. You become a living example of what's possible when someone stops fighting reality and starts dancing with it. Consider how different our world would be if more people practiced coordinating intention. Instead of collective panic in the face of challenges, we would see collective creativity and resilience. Instead of spiraling into worst-case scenarios, communities would come together to find innovative solutions. This is the potential of transurfing, not just personal transformation, but a new way of being human together. As you begin practicing coordinating intention, be aware of common pitfalls. One is spiritual bypassing, using positive thinking to avoid dealing with genuine emotions or necessary actions. Coordinating intention doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist or failing to take practical steps to address challenges. It means addressing them from a state of aligned intention rather than reactive emotion. For example, if you lose your job, coordinating intention doesn't mean sitting at home affirming that everything is perfect while your bills pile up. It means allowing yourself to feel the initial shock and perhaps grief, then choosing to see this as an opportunity for positive change while taking practical steps to find new employment or create new income streams. The difference is in the energy you bring to these actions, confident and open rather than desperate and closed. Another pitfall is impatience. Some people try coordinating intention for a day or two, don't see immediate results, and give up. Remember, you're rewiring patterns that may have been in place for decades. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories. The moment you caught yourself before spiraling into negativity, the time you found a positive interpretation even though you didn't fully believe it yet. These small wins compound over time into profound transformation. A third challenge is dealing with others who don't understand this approach. When you respond to setbacks with calm trust, some people might see you as naive or in denial. Don't let their skepticism shake your practice. You're not trying to convince anyone else. You're simply choosing the most empowering response for yourself. Often when people see the positive results in your life over time, they become curious about your approach. One man reported that his family initially mocked his Pollyanna attitude when he began practicing coordinating intention. But after 6 months of watching him navigate challenges with grace and seeing how opportunities seemed to flow to him, they began asking for his secret. He didn't preach or try to convert them. He simply lived as an example of what's possible. The deeper you go into this practice, the more you realize that coordinating intention is not just a technique, it's a fundamental shift in how you relate to existence itself. You begin to see life not as a series of random events to be endured, but as a responsive, intelligent system that's constantly offering you opportunities for growth and joy. Every challenge becomes a doorway, every setback a setup for something greater. This shift in perception changes everything. Imagine walking through life knowing that every single thing that happens is ultimately for your benefit. Not in a naive way that denies the reality of pain or challenge, but in a deep, grounded way that recognizes the inherent wisdom in life's unfolding. This is the gift of coordinating intention. It returns you to a state of fundamental trust in life. As you master coordinating intention, you'll discover that what once seemed like a technique becomes a way of life. You'll find yourself naturally expecting good things, not from naive optimism, but from deep experience of how reality responds to aligned intention. Problems will still arise, but they'll no longer knock you off course. Instead, they'll become interesting puzzles, opportunities to practice your mastery and discover new gifts hidden in challenging wrapping paper. The practice also deepens your intuition. When you stop reacting from fear and resistance, you create space to hear the subtle guidance that's always available. You begin to sense which opportunities to pursue and which to let pass. You develop a feel for the rhythm of your life, knowing when to act and when to wait. This intuitive knowing comes not from your mind, but from your alignment with the flow of variations. Consider the analogy of a jazz musician. A beginning musician plays mechanically, thinking about each note, but a master jazz musician has internalized the principles so deeply that they can improvise freely, creating beautiful music in response to whatever the other musicians play. Similarly, as you master coordinating intention, you become able to improvise beautifully with whatever life presents, creating harmony from what others might perceive as discord. This mastery doesn't mean you become emotionally flat or disconnected from life's ups and downs. On the contrary, you become more fully engaged with life, more present to each moment. The difference is that you're no longer at the mercy of external events. You've found your center, your unshakable core that remains stable regardless of what storms may rage around you. In practical terms, this stability translates into remarkable effectiveness. When others are paralyzed by unexpected changes, you're already adapting and finding new opportunities. When others are exhausting themselves fighting reality, you're conserving your energy and moving efficiently toward your goals. When others are creating drama and excess potential, you're maintaining the smooth energy that allows for easy manifestation. The journey of mastering coordinating intention is unique for each person. Some people experience dramatic shifts quickly, while others notice gradual changes over time. Some find certain situations easy to reframe while struggling with others. This is all part of the process. The key is to be gentle with yourself while remaining committed to the practice. One particularly powerful aspect of coordinating intention is how it transforms your relationship with time. When you stop resisting what is, you stop creating temporal stress. You're no longer living in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. You're present, engaged, and trusting. This presence actually seems to expand time, giving you more space to respond creatively to whatever arises. As this practice becomes second nature, you may notice that your very presence has a calming effect on others. People seek you out during challenging times, not necessarily for advice, but simply to be in your peaceful energy. You become a stabilizing force in your family, workplace, and community. This isn't because you're trying to be helpful. It's simply the natural result of maintaining coordinated intention. The ripple effects extend even further. As you consistently choose positive interpretations and responses, you inspire others to question their own automatic reactions. You demonstrate that there's another way to live, one that doesn't require constant struggle and stress. Without preaching or teaching, you become a catalyst for change in the lives of those around you. It's important to understand that coordinating intention doesn't mean you'll never experience difficult emotions or challenging situations. Life continues to include the full spectrum of human experience. The difference is in how you hold these experiences. Pain may still arise, but suffering, the mental elaboration of pain, decreases dramatically. Challenges still come, but they no longer derail you. Think of it this way: a tree faces storms, droughts, and harsh winters. It doesn't deny these realities or pretend they're pleasant, but it also doesn't resist them. It bends with the wind rather than breaking. It sends roots deeper during drought. It conserves energy during winter. The tree coordinates its responses with reality, and in doing so, it not only survives, but thrives. This is the wisdom you're cultivating through coordinating intention. As we near the end of this exploration, take a moment to imagine your life 1 year from now if you commit to practicing coordinating intention daily. Imagine facing challenges with calm confidence, knowing that each one brings hidden gifts. Imagine the peace of trusting that your world truly does take care of you. Imagine the joy of watching seeming setbacks transform into blessings. This isn't a fantasy, it's the real possibility that coordinating intention offers. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. This isn't a metaphysical platitude, but a practical reality you can verify through experience. Every moment offers you a choice: resist and create struggle, or coordinate your intention and flow with life's wisdom. The choice may seem small in any given moment, but these moments compound into a completely different quality of life. In summary, coordinating intention is the art of turning every event, no matter how it appears, into an opportunity for growth, joy, and success. It's about choosing to trust your world, to see the good in every situation, and to move with the flow of life rather than against it. This principle invites you to become an artist of interpretation, painting each event in your life with colors that uplift and empower, rather than diminish and defeat. As you embark on this practice, remember that every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once unsure. But they all had one thing in common: they chose to start, to practice, to trust the process, even when results weren't immediately visible. Today, you stand at the threshold of this same journey. The power to transform any situation, to find gold in seeming lead, lies within your choice of how to interpret and respond to life's events. In our next episode, we'll explore the principle of the wave of fortune, how to recognize and ride the flow of favorable events in your reality. You'll learn how coordinating intention creates momentum that builds into waves of positive synchronicity and opportunity. Until then, remember, you are not at the mercy of circumstance. By coordinating your intention with the flow of life, you become the conscious creator of your reality. Your world truly does take care of you when you allow it to. Start small. Choose just one situation today where you'll practice coordinating intention. Notice how it feels to respond differently than usual. Observe the results, both inner and outer. Let this be the first step in a journey that will fundamentally transform your relationship with reality. The universe is always offering you the next perfect step on your path. The only question is, will you coordinate your intention to receive its gifts? The choice, as always, is yours. And in that choice lies your power to create a life of ever-expanding joy, synchronicity, and fulfillment. Welcome to the practice of coordinating intention. Welcome to a new way of dancing with life.